I can remember many years back, we didn't even realize that time that we would become such a big circle with so many members. But I could now realize that all the hard work and hardships which Prabhu has taken, with whatever few families were there during that time, we were sticking. Prabhu was sticking to them, and putting all the hard work. And Prabhu has made a lot of personal sacrifices also in his life, so that he could give time to us. He could give time to mentor and mold this Radha Govind circle, whatever we are today. So each one of us, if we are having whatever Krishna consciousness in our life, there's a lot of contribution from Prabhu's and Prabhu's family. So I think everybody knows about Prabhu, so I need not give more introduction. But yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. It's like we take this opportunity for all the sacrifices and what you have done for this Radha Govind circle, and it is always pleasure, to hear from you, to take instructions from you, take guidance from you. So it is a wonderful opportunity to hear from you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. I don't think I need so. I qualified to have so much of appreciation what you told. I don't know I've really done any sacrifice. You all were sincere, and somehow all the sincere souls came together, and Radha Govindji circles became slowly is growing. So it's all contribution goes to all the devotees for putting sincere endeavor to achieve Krishna Prema. So thank you, Prabhu. I'll just try to share the screen. Let me see. Are you able to see the screen?
We are able to see the
Yes,
screen.
Prabhuji.
Okay. We start with the prayers. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurulminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Vivadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate grim yat kripatamam vande Shri Guru Din Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishram Vishnupadaya Krishna Srimate Jayapataka Swami Nitanamini Namacharya Padaya Nadaya Kripa Pradayini Gaurikatadam Dayana Garagamatani. So, Hare Krishna, everybody. So, we are now in second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto. So, chapter's heading is Remembrance of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So, last week we had a wonderful session by Brajeshwari Vinita Mataji, where she had taken us so many lessons which we can learn from Vidura's life. So, in second canto, 10th chapter, 48th shloka, actually, Shaunakadi rishis, they, after hearing about, we all have heard in second canto, all the chapters, how the creation has been, explained. And, so, but in first canto, I think it was Apra Mataji who has taken the session where, Vidura comes to Hastinapur, and he basically scolds Dhritarashtra and tells that, you are sticking to, he uses very harsh words where he says you are sticking like a dog to, in Pandavas, taking the, this thing from Pandavas. What do you say? 1 minute. You are taking all the food from Pandavas and all like that. He uses very harsh words, and that inspires Dhritarashtra to Dhritarashtra and Gandhari to leave the house, and and they go to this thing, and then later Yudhishthira, when he laments, that time Narad Muni comes there and he consoles Yudhishthira that don't worry, both of them have achieved their perfection. So that time Vidura topic came, was there, and after that, somehow the topic gets diverted, and so now Shaunikadi Rishis, they ask, to tell something about what happened after Vidura left Hastinapur, and tell us more. And then Sutta Goswami, he refers to Shukdev Goswami, who, when Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Shukdev Goswami about the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. So then Shukdev Goswami tells all the circumstances which led to Vidura leaving Hastinapur. Mataji last week, she very nicely, she explained that Duryodhana basically insults, Vidura, and he uses the harsh words like Dasiputra. So then Vidura really takes this opportunity, blessing in disguise, and he leaves Hastinapur, and he goes on pilgrimage. And he goes to various places, and he goes to Prabhas Kshetra. Prabhas Kshetra is where today's Somnath temple is there in Gujarat. That place is known as Prabhas Kshetra. And there he comes to know that all the Kurus have died. The Mahabharata war has ended and all his relatives have died. He becomes really sad, and he continues his pilgrimage, and then he reaches Yamuna, banks of Yamuna river, and there he meets Uddhava. And in the third canto, first chapter ends with Vidura inquiring different things. He inquires about Yadus, he inquires about Balram and Krishna, he inquires about Kurus, although he knows that Kurus are already over. And he also laments about Dhritarashtra, that, in old age, how is he sticking? And at last, finally, the thing which he wants to know about Krishna. So in last look of third canto, first chapter, he says, Krishna, who has appeared in your family, please chant the glories of the Lord who has glorified in holy places. So Lord Krishna, who is glorified everywhere, that Lord Krishna, please tell me more about that. So devotees are more interested in hearing about Krishna. And we'll see in this chapter how, things, how is the kind of mentality of Vidura and Uddhava is to talk about Krishna only. So devotee is never bewildered by the external factors, what is going on. Of course, they are compassionate, so they are, they are very, very much merciful upon, all the other people in general. But at the same time, they know the goal of life. They don't get bewildered by the external circumstances. That's the difference between them and us. We just little difficult time comes or ups and downs in our life, immediately we get distracted from our bhakti, and we start lamenting, we start blaming Krishna. Oh, I'm doing so much, so chanting for so many years. But that's not the case with the pure devotees of the Lord. So this chapter is, as the name says, Remembrance of Lord Kṛṣṇa. There is no event happening in this chapter. This chapter is exclusively dedicated, and I think next chapter as well, is dedicated to Uddhava remembering Krishna. So anybody knows who is Uddhava? Who will tell who is Uddhava? Nobody knows?
Prabhuji, Uddhava is Krishna's cousin, like no, like
Yes.
Bhuaji's son.
Oh, okay. Very nice, Mataji. I'm not sure.
One was
Bhuaji.
Shishupal and one was Uddhava, like that. Two, like no, Vasudev's two. Like that.
That everybody knows now to set us.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So I had read it's Vasudev's brother's son, but I'm not sure. Maybe this is or Bua's son. No, yeah, he was a cousin. What else?
Pralada's this thing, no? His Pralada's rebirth, no?
Prahlad's rebirth.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, Mataji. I don't think I've read anywhere, but
No, I've heard about it, Prabhu.
okay, maybe. I'm not sure. I've not heard, Mataji. Maybe. Okay. Anybody knows who is the who is his guru? He was a disciple of Brahaspati, and he was also a minister in Krishna's court. So he had a very, very important life. And one of the important incident, actually in Bhagavatam, there is a detailed discussion in 11th canto between Uddhava and Krishna. Because this incident, which we are going to, I don't think in next 1 or 2 chapters is going to talk about Krishna's disappearance. I think only in 5th chapter or something, in 1 or 2 shlokas, Uddhava's finish of Krishna's disappearance from this material world. It doesn't even touch, but you see 2-3 chapters he's dedicating to remembering Krishna about his leelas and all that. But in 2 shlokas he finishes, okay, Krishna was hurt by this thing, and after that Krishna disappeared. That's all. Nothing he talks about that. But that time Uddhava was there when Uddhava and Maitreya Rishi, they both were present when Krishna finished his leelas in this material world. And that's why there is a Saunakadi Rishis, or rather Parikshit Maharaj, asked about the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. So what Uddhava does is that Uddhava will keep on talking about Krishna for 1 or 2, 3 chapters. And then after that, he will say, okay, whatever you want to know, talk to Maitreya. He was there. And like that, he will leave. So he will not talk about, but then later in 11th canto, we see there are many chapters dedicated to conversation between Uddhava and Krishna, and that is known as Uddhava Gita. And those who have not read that part, you should read that part. It's a beautiful conversation between Krishna. So if we all like Gita, which is told to Arjuna, that is just, we can say, the trailer of Gita. So Uddhav Gita is across many chapters, and all ashramas, duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Sannyasi, Brahmachari, Grahastha, what are their different duties and how deity worship, devotional service, all that Krishna and Uddhava discuss. And there are many chapters across Uddhav Gita goes. So it's a very, very beautiful section of Srimad Bhagavatam. So anyway, so coming back, another episode which we all know about Uddhava is that Uddhava, Krishna had sent Uddhava to Vrindavan, because Krishna was always used to remember, gopis and Radharani, and Uddhava used to sometimes wonder. So once, I'll not go into detail of that. Maybe we'll see that when we reach that section. But Uddhava was Krishna says that why don't you go and meet gopis and tell them to forget me? And they go there, and Uddhava goes there because he was a disciple of Brahaspati, so he has full knowledge. So with that knowledge, he goes and he tries to give that knowledge to gopis. But ultimately, he just gets so much affected by the pure love of gopis that ultimately he forgets all his knowledge, and he becomes like a real what do you say, love of Krishna evokes in his heart, not just the external knowledge. So like that, he comes back like a mad man, always remembering about Krishna. So like that. So there are a couple of instances like this. Uddhava is he comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this chapter actually is dedicated to Uddhava's remembering Krishna in ecstasy. So couple of shlokas, first 6 shlokas talks about the exalted position of Uddhava. Then Uddhava, for 3-4 shloka, Uddhava laments about the unfortunate situations of Yadus and others. Then Uddhava remembers the beauty of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And then couple of shlokas, Uddhava talks about the merciful nature of the Lord and his bewildering leelas. And last some 8-9 shloka, Uddhava talks about the beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan. So as I was saying, this continues across chapters. I think it will continue another 1 or 2 chapters. Uddhava is remembering about Krishna. So chapter starts with, after Vidura's inquiry about Lord Krishna, because in previous chapter ends, Uddhava has inquired about Yadus, Kurus, Krishna and Balram. So now as soon as he asks that, Uddhava goes into the ecstasy. He goes into remembrance of Krishna. And Shukdev Goswami there, he tells a very interesting. So what I've done in this time is that, because there was all about discussion about Krishna, so I've just taken some of the important points from various purports, and which you will see in quotes everywhere. So these are the important points which are taken by Srila Prabhupada, which has told in the purports. So Uddhava used to, there Shukdev Goswami says that Uddhava used to worship the deities of Lord Krishna in childhood. And he was so much, involved in that he will even forget to eat. Even if his mother will call him for food, he didn't want to go. He was so much in love with Krishna. So there, very important point Prabhupada is making in the purport, and some section of that I am displaying on the screen. Maharaj Parikshit also used to play with Krishna dolls in his childhood. In India, the children in good families are still given dolls of Lord like Rama and Krishna, and sometimes the demigods, and so that they develop the aptitude of service to the Lord. By the grace of the Lord, we were given the same opportunity by our parents, and the beginning of our life was based on this principle. So this is a very good learning for the parents. I see many parents in our circle also. I've seen, they are playing with. I've seen Pihu. I've seen Krishna. They are playing with, the dolls of Krishna. Maybe sometimes Radha Krishna and sometimes the Narsimdev and like those dolls. So they look like, very simple activity. But Prabhupada is making it very important that this is a very important section of our childhood. And Prabhupada is quoting his own life where he was given the Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities, and we all know that pastime where Prabhupada conducted Rath Yatra, small Rath Yatra in his, locality. And he is quoting that, saying that since that was my childhood went like that, because his father used to worship Radha Krishna. So, but to Srila Prabhupada, he gave Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and like that, Prabhupada developed the affection for the deities, for Radha and Krishna. So, when the children are in a very, very, in a very earlier stages of life, they are learning a lot of. Children are like clean slate. And when they are born in this material world, they learn whatever things are happening around. Unfortunately, in today's world, they learn parents watching Netflix and Amazon and what all OTTs and vulgar movies, and that's what they learn. And unfortunately, then we blame why the world is becoming like this and all that, because the foundation which is being um, laid for the children is all these things. We are just watching phones, and we are seeing in our families also kids are all the time on the phone. So so it's very, so if we engage them in at home in various spiritual activities, then they learn this thing. I remember once I had asked this, and I share at all platforms, is we had asked His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj that our children are not looking so much dedicated to devotional service. And Maharaj made very important point. He said that for that, you all should do nicely devotional service at home. And when they observe you, they have that foundation. And even if they get distracted during their early, late teenagers and early 20s, they may get distracted because of the society, environment. But since they already have the foundation, then they get, they come back. And so he was quoting, Maharaj was saying that I've seen so many devotee children who were not very much dedicated in their 20s, but as soon as they get kicks from Maya, in early 30s and all that, when they enter into grasta life, when they enter into material world, jobs, business, and they get the setbacks, and then they immediately, because that foundation is there, they come back. So everything goes to that foundation. So it is very important that we ourselves come to temple, attend festivals, attend programs, Sunday feast specifically, we all should attend, and bring our family with us, bring our children specifically. Initially it will look, oh, बच्चे मतलब सुबह उठाना पड़ेगा उन्हें, they will have trouble, एक ही दिन तो मिलता है, and all that. So that compassion actually is going to hurt them later, because they have not developed that foundation. Because we all know that 10th, 11th, 12th, they all get the pressure of studies, we don't push them very hard, so initial years, maybe up to 7th standard, 8th standard, 9th standard, we should engage them in some spiritual activities at temple, at home, and and then that way at least they will have that foundation. I found this point Prabhupada making about the parenting in this book. I found it very interesting, and Uddhava also have that, because he was doing that in his childhood. Then in the next shloka, Uddhava, so whatever you're seeing in bold is the translation for that shloka. So Uddhava thus served the Lord continually from childhood, and in his old age, that attitude of service never slackened. And as soon as he was asked about the message of the Lord, he at once remembered all about him. So we all know that there are 9 processes of bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. So Smaranam is the third process which is being spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. So after that we have Archanan, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So these are the 9 processes of bhakti. And so if we have to, our movement is about the remembrance of the Lord. So we call ourselves International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So Krishna consciousness means always remembering Krishna. Our consciousness is full of Krishna. So how that will happen? How Uddhava at once, within a second, he immediately went into the trance of remembering Krishna all the time. So the reason for that is that he had served Krishna all his life. In childhood, he was serving Krishna's deities. Later, he was serving personally to Krishna. So for him, it was very easy, because he was always thinking about Krishna. So it's a lesson for all of us. We all are going to go old. Uddhava also is becoming old here, as is mentioned in this shloka. So, but what is happening is that he's not forgetting Krishna, because he has spent all his life in serving Krishna. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So if we want to have Smaranam, we should do Shravanam and Kirtanam nicely. And nicely we should serve, Supreme Lord in one or other form, whatever our capabilities, skills, and our interest is there. We should do that. Some people like singing; they can serve Krishna by singing. There's some people physically like to coordinate things; they can do the coordination of various programs. Some people like to, cook. You can cook for the Lord. So there are various ways you can. But whatever you are doing, whatever we are doing, we should be always thinking about Krishna. So Prabhupada is making again a very important point that, for in material world, there is something called retirement, So at least in government jobs, we see that, okay, by 58, 60, they will ask you to retire. You may physically fit, but they may not. And sometimes you are physically not at all fit in your early 50s also, you will continue doing but that's not the case in the spiritual listing, because the spiritual service is not at a bodily platform. Service is at a spiritual platform, because it's the spirit soul is directly serving Krishna. So there is no Prabhupada, as he's using the word saturation, like there is no saturation in bhakti, say service to the Lord. Rather, the service to the Lord increases with the age. As we progress, our mood to serve increases. Initially we have more distraction, then slowly we try to simplify our lives and all that, and we know that our goal of our life is to remember Krishna at the time of death. But how will the Uddhava is the example of that? He's, as soon as just Vidura takes the name of Lord Krishna, immediately he went into the remembrance of Lord Krishna. So then we see that Uddhava remained silent for a Muhurta, which is almost like 48 minutes, and went into deep devotional service he has performed to Lord Krishna. And Vidura observed that Uddhava is in ecstasy, and Uddhava is actually crying in ecstasy. So, there are different symptoms. When a person is in ecstasy, that point of time, he shows different symptoms. Ashta Satvik Vikar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is being referred at. So there the person is crying, he is precipitating, his hair are standing and the skin and, like that. So there are many symptoms are mentioned like that. So Vidura observes that, Uddhava is in ecstasy and he doesn't disturb at all. He waits for 48 minutes. And then so, so Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport very important point that ecstatic symptoms are not artificial imposition. They come naturally. Many of us have that experience that whenever we go to Mayapur or Vrindavan, as soon as we see the deities, tears start flowing, we start getting this thing. And, so Prabhupada is saying that this should not be done artificially because a lot of people, nowadays it's like you see on the reel in our ISKCON Vrindavan temple, ladies will go and start dancing like Meera and all that. So that all is all artificial. And that is, we see in our books, Prabhupada refers that as sahajiya. We should not make our bhakti a drama, this thing. So that's why many a times it used to happen that Prabhupada, whenever somebody will come and tell, Prabhupada, the devotee was crying in ecstasy while chanting. Prabhupada never used to even give importance to it. Because Amrendra Prabhu says in one of his lectures that bhakti is like karpur, that camphor. As far as it is in the, it should be kept in the box. So as soon as it is opened, that whole camphor disappears, right? It's what do you say? It melts. So same way, our bhakti is our relation with Krishna. It is not, if you are naturally getting ecstatic symptoms, it is perfectly fine. That is between us. But we should not do the, what is a presentation to the whole world. Oh, when I chant, I cry, and when I think about Krishna, I do this, and like that. All that is not good for our bhakti, and we should not. That is called sahajiya. Sahajiya means taking bhakti very sahaj. Sahaj means very normal. You are making it bhakti a very normal process. It is not like that. Bhakti is not a normal process. Bhakti is very transcendental activity. It's a relation between a devotee and Krishna. It's not for showing to the whole world. Whatever we tell little bit about in our preaching, sometimes people may think, oh, in these people are talking like this, but they boast so much about while doing preaching. So sometimes in our classes we say, oh, I did this, I did that. But always we should do with the mood that, this is not for my own glorification. It is just for inspiring people, because sometimes people need some examples to look upon. If we have some pure devotees and, to whom we have with close relation, then we are lucky. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. We all don't get the association with pure devotees like sannyasis and senior brahmacharis and senior grasta devotees. So then, for the sake of inspiring others, we sometimes talk about a little bit of our activities which we have done in bhakti. But surely it is not. It should not be meant for glorifying ourselves, because the goal is to bring the souls, the jivas, to close to Krishna. So our bhakti is, we start with our sadhana bhakti, and we from bhava and prema bhakti. We reaches the stage of bhava and prema bhakti, then these ecstatic symptoms automatically they appear. We don't have to artificially try. Oh, although there is one lecture by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj where he quotes this. A very, I don't think I will be able to replicate it, but he tells it 6, 7, 8 times. If you are not able to cry, you should cry for Krishna. If you are not crying, you should cry. You should cry for Krishna. Why I'm not crying? Like that, he tells 6, 7 times that, cry, cry, cry. So our goal is to be so much blissful in bhakti that we are crying for Krishna. It looks very contradictory, right? But the goal of our bhakti is to be so much blissful that we are crying for Krishna. So, our process of the sadhana bhakti, which starts with chanting and hearing and offering service, then what happens is slowly these impurities of our heart get washed away, and slowly devotee moves to the bhakti, the steady bhakti, which is like adau shraddha sadhu sangha bhajan kriya anarth nivritti, then nishta, ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. So bhava and prema stage, if we reach where we are crying for Krishna, for that we have to pass through all these stages. Shanvatam Svakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana. So when we do Punya again and again, Punya Shravana Kirtana we do so what happens is that our anarthas which are there in our heart, they slowly get washed away. And then slowly our love for Krishna increases. And when slowly we'll reach to that stage where we are automatically in ecstatic, as soon as like Uddhava, hopefully we reach that stage where we are just, anybody tells it about Krishna, and then we are crying for Krishna. We are thinking about Krishna. We are remembering the pastimes of Krishna. That should be our goal. So anyway, the Uddhava comes back to the human plane and speaks to Vidura. Another important point Prabhupada makes in purport is that pure devotees are always in the, in constant touch with the Supreme Lord. Even in their present body, they don't belong to this material world. So then, first statement Uddhava makes is that Uddhava laments. He says, "My dear Vidura, the son of the word Lord Krishna has set, and our house have been swallowed by the great snake of time. What can I say to you about our welfare?" Because Vidura has asked about the welfare of Yadus also. So then he is not, he says that, time has swallowed our house, means his family. And so indirectly he says, so we'll see nowhere Uddhava wants to talk about, disappearance of Krishna directly. So then he's indirectly saying the sun has set. So now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has compared sun and Krishna, and Srila Prabhupada is giving in the purport. So I've just tried to put it in a tabular form. There, the sun, when sun sets, darkness appears. When Krishna disappears, darkness of ignorance appears. When sun is always present in one or other place in the world. We all know that when his sun is setting in India, that does not mean that other part of the world the sun has set, because Earth is rotating. So same way Krishna is always performing Nitya Leelas, he perform in one or other universes. Darkness experienced by the common man does not affect sun. And Krishna is also transcendental to all modes of material nature. So when there is darkness, we are affected by it. Sun is not affected. Same way, when Krishna is disappearing from one universe and appearing in other universe, that does not mean that, Krishna is affected by this. Krishna is above all this. When sun appears once in a day, and Krishna appears once in a day of Brahma in his original spiritual form. As the sun sets, the thief's ghost become active and lotus disblossom. And Chakravaki is a pakshi, a bird, which laments as soon as the sun sets. And here then, Prabhupada tells that with disappearance of Krishna, atheist and adharmic people become more active, and devotees, they lament. So it's a very beautiful comparison between sun and Krishna. Then after that, Uddhava talks about the misfortune of Yadus. So he says that universe is unfortunate, but more unfortunate are Yadus who did not identify Lord as Supreme Personality of Godhead, as fish things move to be one among them. Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kind of relaxation, but still they were only able to know him as one supreme who dwells everywhere. So there is one of the, Prabhupada is mentioning in the, purports, many beautiful things in these two purports, where he's saying that people who are foolish, who are not knowledgeable, they see the Krishna's various opulence, because when Krishna was here, he has showed his strength. You know that there are 6 opulences Bhagavan has in full. That is strength, beauty, fame, wealth, knowledge, and renunciation. But there were so many people who did not recognize Krishna. In spite of that, Krishna was showing all of that. Anybody would like to say any example where Krishna showed his all these opulences and they didn't recognize him?
Shishupala.
Shishupala, yes. Shishupala was always cursing Krishna as you are like this, like that, always abusing him. Okay, who else?
Conversation with Satyabhama's father.
Satyabhama's father, what is that?
Prabhuji, for that money.
Okay, one by one maybe.
Yes, Prabhuji, for that money, when he asked, no?
Satyavrata, right? His name was Satyavatra or something. Vrata. He was the, so they, even in that pastimes, the strange thing is even Akrura gets bewildered, right? Akrura is, we know that famous pastime where Akrura is going to Mathura and bringing Krishna and Balram. And in later part in Dwarka Leela, Akrura also becomes the part of all this pastime where that money is being stolen and all that. Anyway, so that shows that, any other example?
Duryodhan.
Duryodhan, the best example is Duryodhan. Duryodhan was being shown the Vishwarupa in assembly of Hastinapur. Still, he is not believing. He's still saying, oh, he's odd. And, we know that foolishly he goes and asks for army of Krishna, not asking Krishna. Like that, there are many examples. In Bhagavatam is full of these examples where they didn't understand. And Yadus, although were the great devotees and learners, learned persons, they also did not understand. So this is a revelation for me also, because in purports Prabhupada is clearly writing that Yadavas, although they were eternal associates of the Lord, but their realization was only Paramatma realization. We know there are three kinds of realization: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan realization is where you understand that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. In Paramatma, you know that Krishna is, or absolute truth is present in everyone's heart. So Yadus who were thinking, who were always present with Krishna, but they knew Krishna is supreme, but they are not accepting him as supreme personality of God. And that's what they did not establish a relationship. It is something like these five rasas in which we worship Lord. We establish relation with Lord. That is Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, and Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So, leaving except few of them like Yadus and all that, the purport says that most of them were understanding Krishna as the Paramatma, not as the original supreme personality of God. Unlike Vrindavan Vasis who were aware, of course, it's all under the influence of Yoga Maya, but then they were able to establish a loving relation with Krishna. So they were like in Mother Yashoda and Nand Baba serving as parents, Gopa serving as Sakhas, and Gopis serving in Madhuri Rasa Krishna. So Uddhava is talking about that. But then he immediately brings down to the important point is that devotees of the Lord are never bewildered. Under no circumstances can the words of the person bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered. So those devotees who are surrendered to the Lord, they are never deviated by any other liberation. They are not liberated. They don't want Brahman realization. They don't want Paramatma realization. They just want to be serving the Lord directly. So Lord, who manifested in his eternal form before the vision of all the earth, performed his disappearance by removing his form from the sight of those who were unable to see him due to not executing required penance. So Prabhupada is making very important point that when Lord appears and disappears, he does that in his original spiritual form, not like this thing. So a lot of people tell, oh, Krishna appeared, how can Bhagavan can? So many times we face these questions in preaching that, if Krishna is supreme, then why he's appearing like a ordinary person, and why he's was killed like an ordinary person. So they should read the scriptures, because in Bhagavatam there is no this thing that Krishna was born like an ordinary boy, like ordinary child which takes birth from the mother's womb in this material world. He just appeared there. And same way when he disappeared from this material world, he just disappeared. He did not die and his body was burnt and all that is, there's no reference of that in the scriptures. So, so this all is, so we will see this point again comes is that people are bewildered. The foolishly people think that, Krishna also is like an ordinary person like us. Then these questions arise. Oh, why he appeared like this? Why he died like this and all that. After this, Uddhava goes, sorry, I will need to move fast. Uddhava talks about the beauty of Lord Krishna in 3 shlokas. He says that, beauty of Krishna is even bewilders Vishnu. So Vishnu and Krishna are not different, but, that is a way to present that, even Vishnu after, so after, the Lord Krishna appears, even Vishnu is thinking, oh, such a beautiful person. And he is referred as ornament of the ornaments. Param Padam Bhushana Bhushanangam. Krishna is the beauty of the ornaments. His beauty is more than the ornaments which beautify the person who puts them, right? But on the body of Krishna, when he is putting the ornaments, these ornaments are getting glorified. Like that it means. Devatas, when they assemble in Rajasuya Yagna, they doubt the Brahma's ability to create beautiful things. So, the shloka says that, when Devatas, who were present in Rajasuya Yagna of Yudhishthir Maharaj, and seeing the beauty of Krishna, they are saying, Brahma is also there, Shiva is also there, and they are questioning, is it possible for Brahma to create such a beautiful creation? It is not possible like that. And, we know the Braja Gopis, how they were just stunned by their beauty that they even could not finish their household work. That's the beauty of the, Lord Uddhava is talking about. After that, Uddhava goes into bewildering acts of, contradictory acts of, Lord Krishna. He's saying that, the personality of Godhead, that all compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creation, is unborn. But when there is a friction between his peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth just like fire. So what happens is when there are, 2 trees in scripture, it says that, how is the forest fire happens? Forest fire happens with, is anybody? Okay. So if any, so when there is a friction between the 2 trees, the fire comes without any this thing. So same way that, Krishna, who is although ajanma, he's ajanma means he's unborn. But the same person, for the bewildering, to bewilder the people, he's taking birth like an ordinary person. So we see that, Prabhupada makes very important. Karmis, yogis, jnanis, they sometimes harass devotees like Amrish and Prahalad, and karmis have material hankerings. Jnanis and yogis have spiritual hankerings, but devotees of the Lord has no hankering. Only hankering is to serve Lord. So Lord appears to protect them, like Prahalad and Amrish, we see, no? So we see that Prahalad was harassed by his own father. Amrish Maharaj was harassed by a jnani, a person like Durvasa. And to protect them, Lord is appearing. So when there is a friction between peaceful devotees and the persons who are in modes of material nature, Lord appears. So it looks contradictory, right? Same way that, how come Supreme Lord, who is unborn, who is the all creator of the whole creation, he is, he is protected by his father. Out of fear, Vasudeva is taking the same Krishna from Mathura, and he's taking it to, Nand Baba's place, Gokul. And, same Krishna who is, fear personified, that person out of fear from his enemy, he's running away from Mathura. So he's saying these bewildering things is giving me distress. We all know that, Krishna is another name of Krishna is Ranchor. Because when this Jarasandha was attacking Krishna, Mathura again and again, so 17 times he attacked. So when 18 times he was attacking, this became Krishna just to protect all the his Mathura Vasis. He told, okay, it's time to go from there. And when he came 18 time, he was like, Mathura was empty. So Krishna has just in one night, he created Dwarka. He ordered Vishwakarma to make Dwarka, and all of them, they moved to Dwarka. So these all things look very, contradictory. And Prabhupada gives an example in the purport saying that when a father, he plays with the little child, with his son, at that point of time, the son may hit father with a, like Madhav will hit Soumya Prabhu. So Soumya Prabhu will fall down. So Madhav will be very happy. Oh, oh, my father, I have, so, but does that mean that, father has been defeated? No. But, why he is doing that? Just to give pleasure to his son. So same way, as soon as we understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of God, we will never have any such doubts. So that's what Uddhava is trying to say. And, other thing which Uddhava is saying is bewildering is that Krishna, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the protector of everybody, what is he going when he went to Mathura to meet his Vasudeva and Devaki? At that point of time, he is begging the forgiveness from his parents. He is saying, please excuse us for our inability. We were not able to protect you. We were not able to take care of you for so many years. And Prabhupada is saying a son in the purport, a son is always indebted to parent for in so many ways. So people who do not believe that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, at least they should learn from this that, so they should, they should serve their parents, and Supreme Father, they should learn from how they can serve the Supreme Father, who is Sri Krishna. And next shloka, he talks about how fortunate the Mother Earth is, who is touched by the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and by just his beautiful leelas, he has killed so many of Rakshasas who were burdening the Mother Earth. So isn't it bewildering? And then Krishna comes to the couple of shloka. He talks about the mercy of the Lord. He's saying that those people who did not believe him, who has enmity against us. Example he gives is about Shishupal. He says that Shishupal, who had so much enmity against Krishna, even he achieved the liberation. And then he quotes about all those people who were present in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, just by lovingly having glance upon Krishna, they even got the higher this thing than the Shishupal. Shishupal, we know that he got the Brahman realization. He merged into Krishna. But then those people who are available in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, there's a very beautiful word which I mentioned, Partha Astra Putaha, purified by Arjuna's arrows. So they were just having the loving glance upon Lord Krishna and Arjuna. They just got the liberation, means they didn't get the Brahman realization. They were promoted to the Vaikuntha planets. They were spiritual planets they were promoted to, because Shishupal had enmity, but these people, they didn't have enmity. They were glancing because they had the love while glancing at the beauty of Lord Krishna. They just got promoted to the spiritual planets. And Partha Astra Putha is an important thing, because just getting in association with the devotee of the Lord, we have a very high chance that we will get the perfection. So it's so important that we listening. Then his next one shloka, he is talking about the beautiful qualities of the word of Lord Krishna. So I'll just not go too much into asamaya atisaya, which means no one is equal or superior to him. Trayadhishaha means master of all kind of threes. This is beautiful thing in this shloka. Master of all kinds of three means three modes of material nature, three kind of energies, three words. Swargloka, Bhutala, and Patala. Then three kind of Purusha avatars, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, Karnodakshaya Vishnu. Then three Guna avatars, which is Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So he is master of all three of them, Uddhava is saying. He is supremely independent because his all desires are fulfilled by Mother Lakshmi. He is worshipped by all the Lokapalas who are maintaining these words. And his feet is honored by millions of helmets that touch him. So all the people, they touch the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And then Krishna, now Uddhava is talking about the humility which is displayed by the Lord. So, so he's saying, Vidura does not take pain to see, how Krishna, like a servant, he's standing in front of Ugrasena, and Ugrasena, he's asking, can you please tell me what to do? Isn't it very, this thing? So I've just put the picture of Sudama, because this also is another display of Krishna's humility. He's washing the feet of his poor friend, poor Brahmana, Sudama. So he's, he's becoming so humble. So Krishna's, he's just showing by his, his behavior that, how a person should be, how a devotee should be. So those who are not devotee, what they think is, oh, how can a human-like person, is. But Krishna Prabhupada is referring that 9.11, he says, Avina janti mam mura. So fools who deride me when I descend in the human form, they do not know my transcendental nature as Supreme Lord of all that be. And then very famous shloka which comes here, that where the Krishna is being glorified by who gave the, Putana place of Aho bakiyam stanapkalakutam jigham sayapayayadapya sadhavi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tato anyam kamba dayalum sharanam brajema. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than him, who granted the position of mother to she-demon Putana, although she was unfaithful? She prepared deadly poison to be sucked on her breast. So she had come, Putana had come to kill Krishna, with that mood to kill Krishna, but still Krishna, because he did the stanpan of Putana, he gave him the place of, Adhatri and Goloka, means the motherly place she was given. So much the merciful. Prabhupada writes very beautiful purport. He says that Krishna sees the least qualification of the living entity and awards him the highest reward. That's the standard of his character. Therefore, who but the Lord can be the ultimate shelter? A person who is ignoring, in the form of Jagannath, he's sitting and he's looking at what service this devotee has done. And in the form of Padma Swami, he's just ignoring that, whatever mistakes a devotee is doing. That kind of merciful Krishna, why we should depend on any other shelter? That's what Uddhava is saying here. He is our ultimate shelter. And in next shloka, he basically in the mood that because he will not be able to see Krishna at the time of leaving his body. So he is just saying that demons are more luckier than devotees, because while fighting with the Lord, absorbed in the thoughts of, they have the enmity, but still, they all got the deliverance. They all got the liberation. Lord is coming to there to protect them. But Prabhupada clarifies that, okay, this is saying out of emotion, because at that point of time, he is feeling separation from Krishna. But that does not mean that devotees are equal to demons or impersonalists. Devotees get the personal admission into the spiritual world of Lord Krishna, personally getting the ability to serve Krishna in his abode. That is higher than any other kind of, different 4 or 5 kind of liberations are there. Higher than that is what devotee would desire, is to be in association with Krishna, directly serving him. Then Prabhupada is, Uddhava is again talking about some of the beautiful pastimes. So now he is going into various other leelas, where he's saying that, how did the Lord appear? Just by the prayers offered by Brahma. He appeared in the womb of Mother Devaki. So, Prabhupada is writing in purport very beautiful thing. He's saying Vidura is asking about the disappearance, but Uddhava is talking about the appearance. So a devotee is never pessimistic. Devotee is never this thing. Oh, now Krishna has gone. What will happen to me? How will I live? Of course, he has the separation, but at the same time, he's not pessimistic. He's optimistic. A devotee is always optimistic about, the situation. Because he's fully surrendered. He knows that I have the protection of Lord Krishna. So he's not bewildered anytime. So, and then he says that, his father, Vasudeva, out of the fear, he takes Krishna, as if Krishna cannot be protected. Krishna is the protector of everybody. but the same Krishna is being taken in the basket and taken to the Nand Baba place. And for 11 years, he stays in a very, like a flame, is like a covered flame. He was not, he was protected. So, as if he is some person, ordinary person who is scared of the king of that place. So beauty of that person is that in his childhood, like an ordinary person, he's sitting around the, his cowherd boys, and he was herding the cows, and, so like that kind of beauty acts he's doing. And he's same such a, child who is behaving like Mother Yashoda is scolding with the stick, that the boy is running for his life. But as soon as he comes to protect his Gopa's friends, he will become like a lion cub, and he will kill all this thing. This is what Uddhava is remembering all this. So, and then Uddhava is saying that while herding the beautiful bulls, the Lord, who was the reservoir of all opulence and fortune, used to blow his flute, and thus he's enlivened his faithful followers, the cowherd boys. So to attract cowherd boys and cowherd girls, gopis, he is playing his beautiful flute. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Barhavatam Asitambudha Sangarangam Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Maham Bhajami. So Brahma is worshipping or glorifying that beautiful form of the Lord, who is playing the beautiful transcendental flute. His eyes are like lotus flower. He's decorated with peacock, peacock, what do you call it? Peacock plums, and beautiful colors, resembles like the fresh black cloud. Although his beautiful bodily features are more beautiful than the millions of Cupid. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. His beauty is more beautiful than the millions of Cupids. And, so he's like that. He's, remembering the, various pastimes of the Lord. At last, Uddhava, towards the end of this chapter, he is remembering the beautiful Kaliya Daman Leela. He's, remembering how Krishna told Nanda Baba not to do Homa or Yagna for, Indra's pleasure, and to protect his Vrindavan Vasis. He picked up for 7 days and 7 nights. He picked up the, Govardhan like an umbrella. And at last he talks about the Rasa Leela. He takes that beautiful, this gopis. In that, he's in an autumn season. He is brightened by the moonshine. He's dancing along with the beautiful gopis. So like that, with this 34 beautiful shlokas, Uddhava is remembering Krishna. And mercifully, Uddhava, by his mercy of his remembrance, he's taking all of us into Krishna Leela. So, we know this, that Prabhupada always say that, we should not directly jump to the 10th canto. And we should, go sequentially, right? That's the instruction of Srila Prabhupada in his books and his lectures. So, but you see, the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam is that in between time, place, and again, there will be many devotees who will remembering the various leelas of Krishna. So that basically don't worry, you are going to, at last you will reach to the 10th canto, where you will read the beautiful leelas of, Lord Krishna. So that way, this whole chapter is about the remembrance of Lord Krishna. So, what is the lesson learned out of it? How can we remember Krishna all the time? Can anybody say? We have gone through the beautiful pastimes of Lord. So, and this pastimes will continue in next chapters also, I think 1 or 2 chapters. So what is the lesson learned for us? How can we remember Krishna all the time?
By name of the Krishna, like we chanting. Through the chanting, we can remember
by
the Krishna.
chanting, yes, by chanting the name of the Lord. Anything else?
By remembering his qualities.
Remembering his qualities. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. Anything else?
By association and going to temple.
By associating with devotees, going to temple. Very important point, Mataji. Don't think sitting at home, I will do all my grasta duties, and then one day the Krishna will, like a Jamila, I will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. It's not going to happen. Maybe Krishna willing, if we are like fortunate like Ajamila, maybe it may happen, but chances are very less. So better, we go take the association of devotees whenever there is time, and go to temple frequently, visit temple. There are beautiful deities of the Lord who is waiting for somebody should come and see. I was, last week when we were in Rangsthala, that Pujari, later what he was saying that, he was saying there are so many crowd comes as tourists, they come. And, but he was saying that 80-90% of the people don't have any bhava. And you devotees have come and you have done nice kirtan and this thing that, so that is the bhava which Lord is looking for. That Pujari Singh, he is not our parampara, he is not associated with ISKCON, but, it was a normal temple, but he was so much, he says that you devotees have bhava. He was glorifying the katha we were doing. He was saying that, you all are so fortunate. You were discussing about, the Lord sitting in the temple. He says, nobody comes here with that mood. So Suman Mataji had made a very nice point that, we should take the association as much as possible. I know we all have other duties. We have to earn for our living of our family. But the important point is that, take out important time of our day-to-day life and spend in the, qualities, holy name, chanting, association. Anything else?
To serve the devotees?
To serve the devotees, that is very important point. We should take the opportunity to serve the devotees. That reminds me, tomorrow we have prasadam serving seva in temple. So don't miss any opportunity which comes.
Because
We
Lord
should,
is very happy to take the service of the devotees.
yes, Lord becomes very happy when we serve the devotees of the Lord. He becomes more happy when we, instead of him, we serve the devotees, he becomes more happy. Thank you, Gajalakshmi Mataji. Anybody else? Any other thing?
Glorifying him to other souls.
Glorifying him to others. Very, very right, Mataji. This is one activity which I always say to others, that why there is so much emphasis on preaching. Of course, to spread the movement, to spread the holy name. But one reason a devotee should do preaching is for his benefit, he should do the preaching. Anybody will become devotee or not, we don't know. But when we take, we do preaching, then we talk about Krishna to others. And when we talk about Krishna to others, then, it's our purification happens. See, thanks to this opportunity which is given to me, I have read this whole chapter. I don't think otherwise, other classes I come prepared, I read or something, nothing I do. I just come and sit. But here what I had to do is, because I had to read, I had to speak, so I had to go through the purports. One whole chapter I finished and, went into the details. It was such a blissful experience. So, all of you should do some kind of preaching. It doesn't need to be formal classes and all that. You go and talk to your friends, relatives about this thing. If nothing, you can do call up devotees and discuss about what you read, what you heard. It helps us. Thank you, Mataji. Very important. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, offering Tulsi to Krishna.
Bring Tulsi to Krishna, yes. Any offering, rather, not just Tulsi. Any offering you do to Krishna, Krishna accepts it with, with love, and he is very happy. Thank you so much. Who was that? Gaura?
Ritika, Prabhuji.
Oh, Ritika. Thank you so much, beta. Thank you so much.
Is that audible?
Yes, Mataji. Nidai Priya Mataji. Sorry, you have been trying to speak for so long.
Sorry. I'm busy in the kitchen actually. So Prabhuji, for reading Srila Prabhupada books and distributing Srila Prabhupada books,
Yes.
continue remembering Krishna actually.
Yeah, so this is a very relevant thing to do in this month. So this is auspicious book distribution book marathon month. Important thing is that we do read Prabhupada books every day. I think Nitaya Priya Mataji along with other Matajis is doing every day. They are reading Prabhupada books to such a great extent, long hours they read, which is very, very beautiful thing. And, so I think all others should do this activity also within your small groups. You get together, read Prabhupada books together. There is so much to learn. Just one chapter has so many things. You imagine there is everything we read, how much there is to learn. And important thing is in this month, all this, I think how many, 37 people are there in this session now. And I think many more are there who are not there. This whole month, and rather 1.5 month, our one service which we all have to do is distribute Prabhupada books. When we give this message of Prabhupada, Krishna himself says that you give my message, you become dear to me. And Prabhupada is very, very much pleased when we give his books to others. So please discuss, all of you will have Bhakti Vrikshas today or whatever you say, have sessions with your respective leaders. Please discuss today what we are going to do in this 1.5 months to please Srila Prabhupada. Somehow or other, we have to distribute Prabhupada books to others. So please come together, discuss this point today, if possible, because tomorrow is 1st December. Tomorrow onwards, we will be in action. We all should do endeavor to distribute Prabhupada books. So please don't, this is a mercy, month of mercy in another form. Of course, Krishna is giving in different forms, he gives mercy. But if you want the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, then you have to do in this month book distribution. And don't worry about your false ego, what people will say, somebody will scold you, somebody will do something. Don't worry. It is just for our own purification and the pleasure of Prabhupada, pleasure of Guru Maharaj, and pleasure of Krishna, we are doing this. So my ego, my respect, this thing, it doesn't matter. Just go out and approach as many people as possible. Okay? Thank you, Nitai Priya Mataji.
One point I just want to share with you all. जब
Yes.
शुरू किया था तो मुझे तो कुछ नहीं पता था, भगवत गीता पढ़ी नहीं थी। प्रेमदत्त प्रभु ने बोला कि बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कीजिए माता जी आप, तो हम करें। तो अंदर से इतना डर था कि अगर किसी ने कुछ पूछ लिया कि भगवत गीता भगवान कृष्ण के बारे में, मुझे तो कुछ नहीं पता, तो उनसे पूछती थी प्रभु क्या बोलना है, तो वो बोलते थे अरे भगवान ऐसे है, ये है, भगवान ने भगवत गीता में ये कहा है। तो जब हम जाते हैं बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए तो हर समय हम यह ध्यान रखते हैं भगवान ने क्या बोला है, इस व्यक्ति के साथ क्या बोल सकते हैं। तो इन दैट केस ऑल्सो, और हर शिला प्रभुपाद के हर परपोर्ट के नीचे लिखा था कृष्ण भावनामृत में रहिए। हर हर एक श्लोक के नीचे शिला प्रभुपाद यही बोलते हैं कृष्ण भावनामृत में रहिए। तो वो बहुत ही अच्छा एक अनुभव है मेरे जीवन का कि हाँ, इस तरीके से तो भगवत गीता भी पढ़ लेंगे, दूसरों को भी दे देंगे और मर्सी भी मिलेगी हमको भगवान की और शिला प्रभुपाद की।
It's a multi-dimensional activity in the sense कि इसमें हमें अपना प्यूरिफिकेशन है और दूसरे का भी है, और हम मतलब भगवान को भी प्रसन्न कर रहे हैं, प्रभुपाद को भी प्रसन्न कर रहे हैं, किसी दूसरे बद्ध जीव को भी हम भगवान की कृपा दे रहे हैं और अपना प्यूरिफिकेशन हो रहा है। और इससे ज्यादा बढ़िया क्या सेवा हो सकती है? ये सबसे बढ़िया सेवा है एक्चुअली। Anumata, you have raised the hand. You want to say something?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have a question. The class was wonderful. I was not knowing that it was having such a wonderful topic, like how we should have relationship with Lord. And Prabhuji, one question was there regarding, you were telling like Yadavas who were like lords. So and they like got interaction with Paramatma form of the Lord. But Prabhuji, like one doubt was there, like they were all devatas, no? Because when Lord appears, so like devatas have the feel of Paramatma form only, or like they also are able to see Krishna as in Goloka Dham, but like we see Golok people, they have like our Vrajvasis and all. So can you elaborate a little bit about this?
To be honest, I'm not very clear in this what was mentioned related to Yadus. But yes, they are all, devatas, and they were given various. We see that in Krishna book also, Prabhupada mentions that, when Brahma goes to prayers to Lord Vishnu, and then they say, okay, you all take birth in, Yadu dynasty, and they all take birth. So, it's mentioned in the purport, which I was quoting. So Prabhupada is mentioning there the kind of realization they had was the Paramatma realization. So if you see even the various instances where, either it's Brahma or it's Indra or Varuna, and they all get bewildered, and there are very many pastimes where they, so for them, I should not say Brahma in that category, but, all other, at least other devatas, because Brahma had seen directly the Lord in the, when he was created, Brahma was created. So my understanding is, although it's not very clear, but my understanding is that, they didn't have the Bhagwan realization. Yadavas had only, Paramatma realization, because Prabhupada is saying that but I will have to do some research on this, Mataji. Maybe I'll get back to you. How is it? Because it's little bit, not very clear. Because when I just read, I didn't have enough time to do the research on this, that why they had Paramatma realization, not Bhagwan realization. So maybe I'll get back to you on this.
Prabhuji, one more thing. Then this is like Krishna's pastime, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, then also other demigods also came.
Yes, other demigods came to participate in the.
So maybe at that time they may have like Krishna's original form.
Yeah, they all are eternal associates of the Lord. So I don't think we can say that they didn't have Bhagwan realization. But I don't know why the statement is there. By Prabhupada, I need to ask some, maybe some senior devotee, or maybe I should. I'm not sure on this part, to be honest. It's a little bit confusing for me too. That's why I didn't touch too much on that.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. The class was really, and like how you have told every family member, like small kids also, how they can engage and how the family members can take them, how we should associate. Plus, you have given the last empowerment on book distribution also to channelize us. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you so much. It's already 7:28, so I think it's already 14, 15 minutes above. So thank you so much, everybody, for your enthusiastic participation. And Soumya Prabhu, it's all over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. I think if anybody is having any questions, maybe they can approach Prabhu or message or talk one-on-one. Due to time constraint, I think we will close the session here. So we thank you very much, Prabhu. You have systematically taken the whole chapter. I can see you have taken a lot of efforts putting each and every shloka on the PPT with beautiful pictures of the Lord and devotees. So thank you very much, Prabhu. So I would like everyone to chant to one time Hare Krishna as a token of gratitude. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare